Hello everyone, my name's Zen. Welcome back to ZenLOG. Sorry for not posting in a while, I just really wanted to make this video instead of editing. Today I've made a game, let me put it on screen. Boom! Welcome to my game. You can see it's a little pixelated. That is the stylistic choice I'm going for with this game. Yeah, you can look around, very cool, right? The whole point of this game is that you can only move by jumping. Like that. I'm not sure you can really see that because this is sort of like a big plane I'm on and it's not very textured. So it's hard to see how much distance I'm traveling, but this is standard jump. And you might be like, well, this is some really boring and repetitive gameplay, right? What if people could just move? And don't worry, I've added WASD controls so you can do that. You've also got an additional big vertical jump. So for reference, here's a regular jump. Oh, this is your arm, by the way. You use it for wall jumping. So you'd go like boom, and then boom, you know. Big vertical jump, right? Okay, and then the next thing we got right here, so you can see that seems like a really big wall. Max I can jump is about that purplish block right there. So you might be thinking like, how do I get up this wall if I can't even, you know, jump that high? Here's part 2 of the gameplay. I call these charge jumps. Basically, you're gonna want to hold down control, and there's a little bar in the bottom you may have seen, just filled up and now it's yellow. And now I can perform big versions of my jumps. So that was a big version of the vertical jump, and then there's a big version of regular jump. That one gets you pretty far and gives you good height. But there's also a big version of the tiny little hop jump, and that gets you really far. Now this isn't a momentum game, I want to make that really clear, and the clearest way that this is clear is that when you do one of these big things, you can cancel it out with like basically any move. Alright, so you do big jump, boom, all your momentum gone. Because I don't know how to properly make a momentum game level design wise. So, you know, there's that. These purple blocks they're mostly here to help like people who can't really play the game super well, aka beginners, such as my parents, who I let play this game, and they struggled. Thumbs up. Alright, now here's the wall jumping bit of the video. Basically, you have 2 varieties of wall jump. One, which is using your regular jump, and then another one with your big vertical jump. Now, it might seem like there's not really purpose in using the regular jump for wall jumps, right? But using your regular jump, you can turn your momentum forward, and you can do like that, basically. Whereas the big vertical jumps are, you know, going vertical. So then you come across this orb and you're like, I wonder what this orb does. Well, I might as well jump to it because I can't really get over there. Mind you, technically we're not supposed to have the, like, charge jumps yet. So you would be doing all this with just, like, basic vertical and regular jumps. So you jump onto it, and then it bounces you forward, and I thought that was really fun. It also does a little, it shrinks down and then it comes back, which I thought was really very, very important to add, you know. Oh yeah, I haven't mentioned, you might be wondering, like, oh, you have arms, right? Then there's my shadow, and you're like, huh. Well, I guess, oh crap, well, I'm falling now. I thought this was really funny. This is supposed to be like a Scarecrow dude. You can see his hat, you can see him turning. I thought that was really funny because it's actually just like a giant cube rotated on his head, but it looks like a hat from this angle, so it all works out. So I'm gonna take the little shortcut here by doing wall jumps in between this bit. There wasn't really anything else up that path that I was going. There's one of these, you see that cylinder over there? Those are like cannons, and they will shoot you very far away. And there's one at the end of that little path that sends you all the way up there. There isn't anything up there though, so it's just for like, yay, I did it, sort of thing. You see how at the bottom, next to the little charge bar, there is a thing that says item, wait, assigned to another button Oh, by the way, the controls are WASD for your little hops, space for regular, and E for big jump. And there's one more button right next to all of them, aptly titled Q. The Q button. The Q button is to use items. The item I have equipped right now, it just sends you downward really fast, such as that. I can give you one more demonstration. I don't think it's really necessary to show it off again, but yeah. That one's very helpful for correcting errors. So say like I did a really big jump and I'm about to overshoot something, I can just press Q and I'll straight down onto the platform. I have two other items in the current build. I have umbrella and I have the spinning top. I also just found out the tops are called Titotums. Specifically the gambling versions of them, in which they have like sides labeled. So here's demonstrations of the other items. I just used the umbrella right there. The umbrella gives you the tiniest upward boost, and then it obviously lets you hover in the air for a little bit. So watch this. That one's very helpful for for doing cheese across the map. So like, check this out. Normally I'd have to go all the way around there, but do one big one and then umbrella and boom. Oh crap. See, there's the momentum cancel. Very useful also. That one wasn't the weight, that was just the tiny little hops. Very useful. And then the spinning top is kind of OP, I will be honest. Similarly to the umbrella, it's very useful in cutting like half of the map. So you might be wondering, what does the spinning top do? I probably will have to rename it so it's less emphasis on the spin, because it doesn't spin you at all. All it does is it redirects your momentum forward. So say I'm jumping this way, I hit Q, now I'm going that way. Easy as that. It's a lot easier to see on wall jumps because those are like the main thing you use it for. So say I didn't have the umbrella and I had the spinning top. I can still get over there. Watch this. First I do big jump, then I do a wall jump, then I do another one, then I hit the spinning top. Now I'm going forward, land on the platform. It's great. You could also do stuff like one wall jumps. So you just line up, I'm gonna do it on that one over there. So normally you go up there, hit that orb, and get over here that way. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna charge up for a big jump, do the big jump, umbrella at the apex, do a thing, do like that, boom, 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 bam. Might have been a little hard to tell from the shadows and the lack of good textures, but what I did was I wall jumped off, used the spinning top so I got sent back into the wall, so I could do another wall jump, hit that orange thing, wall jump off that, and get up here. And now that I'm here, I guess I can hit the cylinder and get sent into outer space. Very cool. Normally I think I'd hit like in between those squares there, but I'm gonna use the weight and I'm gonna fall all right here. Currently, that is all the cool movement in the game as of right now. Yeah. Here's just a rectangle with a text box on it. I was gonna implement a text system. I guess I'll do that later because it's a bit advanced for my brain at the moment. And then also here's I call it the challenge road. It's not actually all that challenging. You don't even need items for it, you just need your charge jump. This is the technical faster way to get up the mountain, or I call the giant white tower the mountain. So supposedly this is the faster route up. However, with all your items and nonsense, I think it would be faster to take the regular route. Although, let's say you start the game with like none of this stuff, and then you get the charge first, which I am planning to do. This would be the faster route. The only thing is you have to be decently good at the game and know some of the, fundamental mechanics. Yeah. So I'm just gonna get up there really quickly. It just leads you back up to another, like, cylinder cannon. Doot, doot. Yeah, but I was really excited to show off my game. Pretty good. Sorry. I went through a few bugs while making this game, such as the wall jumping. Originally, you weren't able to control the wall jumping, which left regular jump. Sorry, the terminology is really hard to explain, but doing a regular forward jump, I'm just gonna call them forward jumps from now on, the spacebar ones. There was no incentive to use a spacebar wall jump, so you would always use the E for the vertical ones. So then I gave them the ability to send you another direction besides away from the wall. If you had like a good angle up against it, you could just spam space and totally climb the wall. You can somewhat do that, but you shouldn't get vertical height from it anymore, I don't think. Here, hold on. Dude. Yeah. That is the current version left in the game. I might nerf it, because it's still a little strong. I mean, I could leave it like that. I think I might. Basically, it's just like... Oh, crap. See, that's what I meant by a good angle. I also might have to reprogram the arms that appear, because they're a little wonky. They just get the closest point on the wall to you, and then it sets the arms like position to in front of you plus up, which only really works if you're like perpendicular to the wall, so it's not the best. Sometimes you also get cut on, or not cut, you get stuck on these sharp corners, and then you have to do a wall jump to get out of it. I tried to fix that, but it messed up like a lot of the movement. Right now I'm just using a raycast, like a singular raycast to check downward. I had a good time making this game. I'll continue to work on it. Yeah, but that is currently all that's in the game. I guess I could get to the other cannon I didn't show you. There's nothing up there, but it would be something, I guess. Here, we're gonna cheat a little bit. We're gonna do boing, boing, boing. And just like that, skipped half of it with the spinning top. Oh. Yeah, that one's just gonna send me into the abyss. Let's see if I can even get up there first. Boing. Okay, I can only get up there with the umbrella. Noted. Oh, no! No! Alright, well, that's the end of the video. See you guys later. Hope you enjoyed. My name's Zen, and this was ZenLOG. I don't have a name for this game. I should probably come up with one. Also, you're a Scarecrow. And this is probably going to be a lot more purple in the final version. And it will be a lot cooler in the final version. And I'm going to the abyss now. Bye!